Hi everyone, Armoured Pants here, and I have another video for you in the Chinese line. This is the Tier 7 medium, the T-34-1. As always, we will have a look at the tech spec and we will use blitzhanger.com for that. Now, this is a really good medium tank. I have to say I was skeptical about the Chinese line when it was introduced last year, but having played it now, particularly the medium tanks are really good. The IS-2 Heavy in Tier 7 is not a good tank, but this is a good tank. Now you have some options here. You can use combat rations if you want to maximize the view range. It's up to you. The tank does have very good concealment, which I'll look at later on, so it's up to you. Now it has a choice of guns, 85mm or 100mm. You can see that it says when you go to 100mm that the DPM actually goes down, but that's theoretical DPM. In reality, the DPM will be higher because the 175mm pen versus 120 or 120 with the 85mm gun means that you're going to pen more, particularly if you're up tiered with the 100mm gun. So I would get that. It has a reload 7.83 seconds, and you're going to be doing 280 to 350 alpha rolls. So you're kind of doing like, if you think about it, that's sort of the damage that a German heavy tank does in Tier 8, like a Lufa or a VK4502A, and you're doing that every just over every 7.8 seconds in this thing in Tier 7, plus your mobile, so it's really good DPM. With a 100mm gun, you're going to get a lot of pen. So overall, it's, you know, this is good DPM numbers on this. You know, and it's a big gun for a Tier 7 medium tank with a decent reload. And this tank is fast too. There's 50 kilometers per hour in a straight line and 20 kilometers per hour in reverse. Its power to weight ratio, it says here that it's not good, but in actuality, you'll see in the gameplay, it's pretty effective. It's not the best, of course, but accelerates pretty well and has very good concealment numbers. If you look here, the concealment numbers are really good. And we've just maxed it up here. So if you are scouting and there's a light tank out with a view range of 292, you can see that he still has to get, if you're still within 208 meters of you, to spot you. So in a really good concealment number, so really good tank for scouting, for getting out there and spotting up the enemy. If you look at it, it's a very well designed tank. It looks good. Let's look at the elevation here. It doesn't have good gun depression, but you're not expecting that from a Russian or Chinese tank, right? That's not what they're about. But it's fast, agile, it has some decent armor numbers. You can see here, if you look at those relative armor numbers, so you can side scrape at a pinch, especially if you were up against another medium or light tank. If you can side scrape in this thing, the turret is very strong. You can also go hold down almost everything at Tier 7 or Tier 8 except the biggest guns and the biggest heavies RTDs is going to bounce off that turret. Look at those armor numbers there on that turret. It is very difficult to pen, and if you go hold down on this thing, you can do a lot of damage. It's small too. It's a very small target. It's sleek. You know, it's also low target, so you can get a lot of rocks, etc. will conceal most of your body. It's not a tall target that sticks out above hard cover. We can see here when you are either a top tier or your same tier or even up tiered, the turret is almost impenetrable. So, you know, really good tank in that respect. Now, in terms of tactics, I would play this tank as you would do with a standard medium tank. So that is, you're the CPU. If you've forgotten those lessons, have a look at the medium tank guide that we have on channel, and we will take it from there, because that will give you a good recap of all of the things that you should be doing in this tank. Now, also remember the ARM tactics we discussed before, which is basically being the CPU, which is assess, reassess, and move. And that's really how you should play this tank. So you see here, I'm going to go to A, I'm going to get some soft cover, and then we are going to spot up the enemy and see what damage we can do, see if we can cap the base. There's a mastery game we're going to have a look at here. I have the 100mm gun uploaded on it. So you can see what I mean here. The power to weight ratio is not the best for a medium tank, right? That's for sure. But it does accelerate pretty quickly, and you can see it. I'm in position pretty quickly, and I'm able to spot up the enemy. And they haven't spotted me yet, so that's going back to those concealment numbers that we spoke about. So if I'm not moving and I'm in soft cover, I am virtually invisible here, whereas in many other tanks you would have been spotted up by now. Now I'm confident in my armor profile, so I'm going to go and take on this Spec. He's also looking around, so I track him, see if my allies can do some damage on him, pull back in, and I'm using that. See what I mean about the low profile of this tank? Almost impossible for the Spec to get a shot on me unless I pop out, which made him come out to come around and make him an easier target for me. Put one into the T-49 there as well. So you can see, you know, this tank, this low profile, you can see how small I am there compared to the Chi-Ri. So, you know, it's really a very, very small target. It's nimble, agile. Again, look at the power to weight ratio here, the acceleration. It's not bad at all, right? Slow it down here so we just look at the gun in action. This is what I mean about that armor profile. I push the Spec into rushing that shot, bounce it off the turret, and now simple takeout for me. First kill of the game, and I'm gonna push my armor in on him. You know, he fluffs his shot, get another shot on him, and then I'm gonna chase him. And again, we'll see here that the power to weight ratio is not as bad as the stats would say. I wasn't able, of course, to keep up with him, but I was able to stay within sniping range of that T-49, which is impressive because T-49 is one of the fastest tanks in its tier. I'm going to have a look at the gun in action here. There's a lot of targets, but you can see the gun when we maximize that muzzle velocity, which we did. So we have it up over 1100 meters per second now, which means that, you know, across Goalville like this, you know, we're dealing with probably around 300 meters. So we're talking about a third of a second for the shell, less than a third of a second for a shell to get across there, which means the gun can be very accurate. As I say that, of course, commentator's curse, I fluffed that shot. Nonetheless, the gun is pretty good, and it's not bad handling at all for a Chinese gun. You can see here a nice kill coming up, and already into this game, and we have done significant damage and already gotten our gold badge for doing damage. I'll push on here. You can see that with that top speed of 50 kilometers an hour, the tank is able to get around the map pretty quickly. Again, snap one off in here into the Tiger P, come around behind them. Now we're up to 3.3k damage. You know, really good when you consider that we are only a few minutes into the game. I think we're like less than 3 minutes into the game. Come up behind him, put one into his butt, get another kill. And there we go, 5 kills and almost 4k damage, and that delivers the master badge at 3.6k damage, 5 kills. So, you know, really good demonstration of the strengths of this tank. Using its speed, using those concealment numbers, using the gun that does the big alpha rolls with that relatively fast reload of 7.83 seconds. You know, getting out there, spotting up, using the concealment numbers, and then putting in damage, and then of course using the top speed to move around the map. So we covered about certainly what 300 degrees, 320 degrees of that map in the tank. And anytime you're covering over 180 degrees of map in a tank, you know that it's agile because you're able to get around. And I guess there, as I said, we probably covered 300, 320 degrees of the entire map. So really good demonstration of the strengths of this tank. Top Gun badge, high caliber, Radley Walters medal, and yeah, Lev Shello's medal, or however you pronounce that. So in terms of the efficiency there, you see that we were able to damage almost every tank in the game. Delivered over 1.3k of XP, which is what delivers the mastery badge. And I give the Tiger P award to the opponent. He was really trying to carry his team there and just got dogpiled in the end. No fault of his own, he did very well. So let's recap the key points of this tank. So this is a great medium tank. I really like it, and I think it has everything you want from a tank of its genre. It is well balanced, and if you want to play those ARM tactics, which is assess, reassess and move, this tank is ideal for that. So it's ideal for medium tank play, classic medium tank play, playing medium tank by the numbers. Again, if you want to get a refresher on that, have a look at the medium tank guide that we have on channel. At the start of the game, it's ideal for going to spot, scout and move, get out and help your team. use those concealment numbers, which are excellent. Assess, reassess, move, as we said before. Basically be the CPU of your team, and that's explained, and you'll see examples of that in the medium tank guide we have on channel. Because with 50 kilometers an hour, the map is yours, so use your speed. Maximize that muzzle velocity and use supercharger refined gun. That will get you up way over 1100 meters per second muzzle velocity, which is pretty good. And the gun and the reload are great. The Top Gun, its actual DPM is excellent, and great DPM games are possible. You can see there that I did 3.6k damage in a tier 7, which is pretty good. 300 plus alpha rolls are easy possible, so like heavy tank damage in a medium tank with a much faster reload. And this tank is really great in its tier. I really like it. I really find it enjoyable, and it's a keeper. So thanks for watching. Cheers, Mush. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. And I guess all that remains for me to say is, you got it. Pants off.